Hi, my name is John and I'm going to talk about musical modes. A mode is simply a scale, so in this video I will use both words interchangeably. If we choose any note apart from note 1 of a particular scale and play a new scale, continuing from that note, we are playing a mode of the original parent scale. Our parent scale could be the major scale, which is called a diatonic scale, or it could be another scale, for instance the harmonic minor scale. There are 7 diatonic modes or scales, each starting on a different diatonic note. The most well known is the Ionian Scale or mode, also called the major scale, as mentioned. Here it is. If we call the Ionian major scale our mode 1, i.e. our parent scale, then mode 2 starts on the next note up of that scale, and mode 2 is called the Dorian mode. Based on C major, Dorian goes from D to the D an octave higher. Mode 3 starts on the next note up again, note 3 of the major scale. It is called the Phrygian mode. Based on C major, Phrygian goes from E to the E an octave higher. We can continue like this with the next mode, Lydian, starting on note 4 of the major scale. Based on C major, Lydian goes from F to the F an octave higher. Then the Mixolydian mode starts on note 5 of the major scale. Based on C major, Mixolydian goes from G to the G an octave higher. Then mode 6, the Aeolian mode, starting on note 6 of the major scale. This is also called the natural minor scale. Based on C major, Aeolian goes from A to the A an octave higher. The last mode of the major scale is mode 7, of course, starting on note 7, and called the Locrian mode. Based on C major, Locrian goes from B to the B an octave higher. Please note, these modes are specific scales, i.e. not every mode 2 is Dorian, only mode 2 of the major Ionian scale. Not every mode 5 is Mixolydian, only mode 5 of the major Ionian scale. Mode 5, for example, of the harmonic minor is something different. Also, we could alternatively number all our modes or scales starting from, say, Mixolydian. Thus we would call Mixolydian our parent scale, our mode 1. In that case, Ionian major would be mode 4, Phrygian mode 6, etc. The numbers are all relative, but it is most common in diatonic harmony to call the major Ionian scale mode 1, Dorian mode 2, etc. Each of these 7 modes has a distinctive sound. Taking the major scale as mode 1, then modes 4 and 5, Lydian and Mixolydian, have a bright major-like sound, and modes 2, 3 and 7, Dorian, Phrygian and Locrian, have a darker minor-like sound. Mode 6 is arguably more commonly called the natural minor scale rather than the Aeolian mode, but they are both the same. It is a sort of default minor scale. Once you can comfortably play all modes of a parent scale, it makes sense to number your notes in each mode, with 1 being the mode start note. This is Lydian. As all modes of the same parent scale contain the same notes in them, the distinctive sonic character of each mode is only made apparent when you play the mode in note order, starting, of course, on note 1 of the particular mode. And here I am talking about the sound of a mode in the absence of any underlying harmony, just the scale mode in isolation. Unless you start your scale or mode on its correct start note, then it makes no sense calling it by its modal name. The following example is audibly not the Dorian scale. Because I didn't start on the correct start note. I started on the major scale's note 3, i.e. the Phrygian scale or mode. If it doesn't sound like the Dorian scale or any other scale, then it isn't. Also, as soon as you cease to play the notes in number order, you cannot say you are playing any particular mode at all. You are just playing various notes, in this case diatonic notes. We often talk about playing in a particular mode, but we could also just as validly say we are playing in any of the other 6 modes of the parent scale. Remember, playing a scale implies playing notes in number order, as opposed to playing notes from a scale, where we don't necessarily follow number order. We call this a melody. This is the Dorian mode again, numbered. But what if I mix up the note order? This now is just a collection of diatonic notes. The Dorian character is lost. I could be thinking in any mode or modes. This is the Mixolydian mode. But this is now just a collection of diatonic notes again. The Mixolydian character is lost. But if one starts to focus more on note 1 of this scale or mode, then the modal character, in this case Mixolydian, starts to re-emerge. In the absence of any harmony, the modal character of a melody is dependent on what notes we choose to play and in what order. Notes 1 to 8 in order will make the mode or scale most obvious.